Hi, welcome to Turn-Based Besties, a podcast where two grown adults with no free time, who are both a little sick, talk about their favorite RPGs. I'm DJ.
And I'm Sam, and we're besties that love to game. Yeah, I think we were both just chatting about how we are a little under the weather, maybe coming down with something. And,
Just a smidge. I wish that
just
you
a
did.
smidge.
I wish that you wouldn't give me illnesses from trying to make
Through-
out with me, but like
through
whatever.
through the computer screen.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
whatever.
that's the new way you catch things.
From the computer screen. It's
Just don't lick it.
a computer virus, if you will.
Oh, cute.
Thank you.
Speaking of cute, so the cute kiddo comment of the day.
Yeah.
So in my oldest, she can be a little dramatic. It's fine. She's great. She's wonderful.
Yeah.
Sometimes she's a little dramatic. A lot of kids can be a little dramatic. So in hurt her foot and was limping around on it, wouldn't walk on it. And I was like, I need to see that. Please let me see that. And she's like, no, I'm not going to let you see this. Please, let me see. And I said, okay, if you're not going to let me see it, then you just need to be able to walk around like a normal human, okay? If you're not going to let me see your foot in, walk around like a normal human.
Yeah.
So then she starts limping around with us, and Jay is right there, and Jay tells on her and just goes, Daddy, she is walking like a different human.
His
And
like
it was just so funny.
his ability to like grasp context and at the same time take it wildly out of context is masterful.
It's great. It's the way he interprets it.
Yeah.
She's not being a normal human, so she's being a different human.
She's being a differently humaned, if you will.
Differently human. So that one was pretty cute. I'll just say it so I don't forget to say it on the next one.
Uh-oh.
But I'll add a second one. Bonus kid cute. But Tay wanted me to say this one. So in the other day, she started doing this. She's like, "Oh, truth or dare, Daddy, truth or dare." So I was like, "Oh, I didn't know you knew anything about this," but I just said, "Okay, truth." And then she goes, "Oh, okay. Do do some penguins like warm weather?"
Okay.
And I was like, "Yeah, yes. There's Galapagos penguins that are in the warmer areas." And she goes, "That's right." And then she's like, "That's the truth."
That's
So-
right.
So her truth, it was just a trivia or a question that you have to answer and then try to get the truth.
Okay. I mean, she got the truth part of truth or dare, though.
She did. That was the truth. It was the truth in question form, but she was not asking me a question. She just posed a question that was about warm weather penguins.
Again, quite specific. But didn't she also have a birthday party a couple years ago where she specifically wanted like a really unique animal, like on her cake?
Yeah.
Or,
The Hyrax.
oh yes, the very commonly known hyrax.
So that basically it's the African guinea pig or hamster type thing.
Normal for a 3-year-old at the time to know. Completely normal.
The Hyrax, man. Shout out to all Hyraxes listening out there.
Perfect. Well, speaking of fun little furry ones, when you said that little baby N, she's not a baby, but like little baby N hurt her foot, I was like, oh no, like our little fur baby buddy at home also didn't like hurt his foot, but I think he gets his anxiety from yours truly. And he
He hurt his foot with anxiety? I'm so confused. Help me out. What happened to Thormouse?
well, he was chewing his inner left foot, and sometimes there's like a little bit like he's like chewed like a boo-boo there, chewed a scab there before, and he did this in the middle of the night, and instead of booping our noses or waking us up, he just proceeded to gnaw at his foot for like 6 hours. So when we got out of bed, Max kind of like slipped a little bit on like some liquid on the floor, and then we turn on the lights and there are like 8 not huge, but 8 sizable puddles of blood
Oh my gosh.
on the floor, and Thor is just sleeping. He's like, "What's up, man? Like, why are you acting so weird?" So we had to.
He was bleeding that much.
He chewed that much. It was wild. But then he's such a good boy that he let us clean his wound, put some mupirocin on, and we put a big bandage on his leg, and he was like, "Cool, I guess I'm better now, thanks."
Oh my gosh.
It was kind of just stressful to wake up to, but then I'm like, look at this cute boy. He just lets us like put a band-aid on him.
Oh my gosh, that is cute. Oh, poor guy. I hope he's doing better.
Yeah. We dressed it again the night of, and he was less cooperative then. That's okay.
That's
But
okay. Oh my gosh, you won't believe this though. You won't believe this. On N's face, we put a little bit of mupirocin on that too. A little bit of
little baby.
creamy cream. So the same stuff. Oh my gosh. Anyway, well, crazy. That is. I hope he heals.
Same to N. I hope that they heal.
Yeah.
But
But
why are we really here today, Samuel? Not to talk about our injured babies.
well, we could. We can just keep talking about injuries over and over. No,
Good.
today we are talking about our favorite games of 2025. We're reliving the top of the heap, the best things we did in 2025 concerning gaming.
Concerning it, I think I understand where your kids get that context
Odd
and specificity.
phraseology.
A little bit. We do, as you pointed out, we don't overlap in games this year.
I think every other year we've at least had one game that overlapped.
I think so.
Primarily because we play a lot of the same stuff. We have a lot of the same interests, and for the podcast, a lot of times we were playing the same games.
Oh yeah.
But-
And like there were times where I was like, I should include this as a honorable mention, but I'm like, oh, but this is on Sam's list, so that's okay then. Like, well, it'll be talked about.
I'll cover it. I
Yeah,
gotcha.
you got it. You will cover it. And speaking of covering it, why don't you start us off?
With a game that you did not have in your honorable mentions.
I did not at all know.
Okay, so my number 3, we're going to do top 3 and some honorable mentions, but my number 3 for this year, for top games of 2025, was Monster Hunter Wilds.
Woo!
So this is a third-person action RPG. We were questioning that. We were asking about RPG, We were
Yeah.
trying to make an argument for it. So you do level up, there's a story, you play as a protagonist, you upgrade your gear, but you know who confirmed it for us? This game was up for RPG of the Year.
Oh,
at the
yeah,
Game
yeah.
Awards.
Totally.
So they confirmed it. We were right. We were always right. Came out in February of this year. Published and developed by Capcom. Released on basically all the systems: PC, PS5, Xbox, but not Switch. Unfortunately, sorry. I wonder if they'll bring this to Switch 2. Monster Hunter Rise and its DLC was big on Switch, so I would wonder if they will bring it. We shall see. Anyway, so what did I like about this game? I really enjoyed it. I like the Monster Hunter games. So the gameplay being a third-person action RPG with kind of a boss rush and monster hunting loop where you kill a big old monstie and you use its parts to make more stronger gear, stronger weapons, and upgrade yourself even more so that you're stronger to fight the next one. And so you kind of keep going in that loop over and over and over again. And what makes it fun is that loop. The weapons are so much fun, and the systems are so in depth. You really have to know how to fight with that weapon. It's not just button mashing. And so you kind of get connected to that weapon that you're playing. So that's fun. You get to do a cat companion character creator. So you literally make your Palico. I think I tried to sell you on that primarily when I was convincing you of this game.
It was a good sell. It really was. I love playing a cat.
It almost landed just with a cat companion character creator. And then probably the top reason that this isn't a top 3 game of the year for me is just it's playing with friends online to fight the monsters at the same time. So that's really fun. It's well done. It's streamlined and seamless, and so it's a lot of fun to just hop in, chat with your friends, and fight some giant dragons.
Okay. Fun.
It's fun. It's a good one.
I think so. It looked pretty.
It is pretty. So maybe not quite the same size of dragon, but speaking of dragons and dragon-like creatures, what's your third game, DJ?
That's a dragon. That's such a deep cut. It's fine. We'll explain that later. So my number 3 is the Lunar Remastered Collection. It was the year of remasters and remakes. I don't know if that's actually true, but it really felt like it.
It felt like it. I wonder if that's somewhat because a lot of them that were on Switch, they're not going to make a whole bunch of new games in kind of the last year of the first Switch and the beginning of the next Switch. They're going to probably remaster some old ones. Maybe that's why. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. It just felt like a lot of games were getting remastered or remade this year. And I think one of my favorite ones was the Lunar Remastered Collection. So, traditional turn-based RPG on a grid technically, but it's just a turn-based RPG.
Sure.
Released on April 17th, 2025 on all the major platforms. You get 2 games for the price of 1. So you get all of Lunar Silver Star Story and all of Lunar Eternal Blue. Very cool. And double shout out, Eternal Blue is the superior game, and if you disagree with me, you're wrong. It just is. So, just a little bit about the game, because I think we reviewed this back in the summer.
We did. Well, at least
did.
the
the first game.
Silver Star Story.
That's right, we reviewed Silver Star Story. So the music in both of them, it's memorable and really story-driven. Like, the music drives the storytelling in a lot of ways. When they're adventuring in a dungeon, the music is adventurous. When they're having long character exposition, the music is really tender.
Expeditious.
Expeditious, if you will. That's fine. During battles, it's really peppy and dramatic, but never overbearing. Plus, in the 90s, when it came out, it had vocal music in it, which was not the common thing to happen. Visually, it's beautiful pixels, bright colors, watercolor type backgrounds in the battles. I always thought that they were really charming looking. For the story and the character, each character fits a kind of like archetype and a class in a way. And there isn't much customization when it comes to the Lunar games, and that's kind of a standard 90s turn-based RPG for the most part. Alex, the silent protagonist in Lunar 1, is fine. Kind of a boring protagonist because he's mostly silent, but Hero in Lunar 2 is a fully fleshed out character. All companions, especially Null and Ruby, are fantastical characters, even, if you will. Again, they're stock and trope-filled, but they're really endearing, despite, I think, playing it safe with the characters. Why do I love it? I think it's pixel graphics done correctly. I think the story is really memorable, especially the second game. If you're looking to min-max your experience, not looking at anyone in particular, this game's probably not for you, and that's okay. It's not going to be one of those, but someday in the future, when we clear out our backlog, you should take a look at Eternal Blue. It's just superior in every way.
Okay. I think I owe it to you. As much as you love this game, I owe it to you. And also, to be also a little bit fair, we're playing another game at the moment, both of us, and I think I was poo-pooing a lot of games like Lunar for being too simplistic at the time when we were playing it, the battle system, and we're playing another game which we will do a review on in the future that is way more simplistic, it would feel. So it seems a little disingenuous of me to not give a game like this a second chance, maybe.
Hey man, our tastes in games can evolve over time. I don't think it wasn't you being disingenuous or anything. I think you're just evolving and understanding.
I can give it a shot.
Games.
I can give it a shot. Maybe so.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
So that's my number 3. What is your number 2?
My number 2 for 2025 is Hades 2. So Hades 2, another game that was up for Game of the Year. Didn't win. It did actually win Best Action Game. So this is a Game Award winning franchise.
Sweet.
Yeah, I know. It is a roguelite because you progress. We learned this last time. We were talking about it. You progress, you get upgrades, and you get stronger between runs. And so that's what makes it a roguelite instead of a roguelike. Top-down / isometric action RPG released just not too long ago in September of this year by Supergiant Games. It is currently on PC, but also console-wise a Switch exclusive. I don't exactly know when that is up because it's a time-limited Switch exclusive, so that'll change. You fight as Malinoe against Kronos, who has taken over the underworld, and it's a fun little romp. So why did I love it so much? I'll start with the visuals. So I'd say it's beautiful. It's kind of that Supergiant art style that's hand-drawn, cel-shaded, has some kind of bright accent colors in there. Really, really vibe with that artwork. The music is really enjoyable. What I liked about it most is probably that the tracks ramp up the bigger an enemy you're fighting, so they're more bombastic and more rock, driving rock beats when you're fighting the bosses. And then they always time it so that you sum up the song and that it ends the track nicely right after you kill the boss.
You
so
love a good cadence.
That little touch is so nice. It's so epic. You just beat them and then it sums up the song. It just, crescendos and finishes, which is great. Then let's see here. I liked exploring the world and learning the story. You kind of do so by talking to a bunch of the different characters. It is, as you might expect, kind of Greek mythology based. You're meeting a lot of the different gods and you're talking to them and you're getting the story that way, piece by piece. And it's well done. It knows what you've seen so far. It knows how far you've gotten on your recent runs and then unlocks kind of new dialogue based on what you just experienced, which is really well done. And then it's the action RPG gameplay is just fluid. It's just perfectly done. Each dodge, each attack, everything is just mwah. Chef's kiss. And then also when you lose, you still win. It's that progression. So even after you die, you're like, okay, well now I get to go upgrade this and I get to go upgrade this and I'm stronger at this now. And so it's a good feels all the way through, even though you might be dying over and over and over again. Somehow they make that work. And then it doesn't sound like DJ's thing, but then each time you do a run or try, it can be totally different. You could try a different weapon aspect, as they call it. So the same weapon can kind of have different moves or different mechanics. You can try whole different boons or buffs, which are kind of the abilities. So you can just build the way you play totally differently, and so it can be unique every single time. And then something DJ did like, there's a new witchy feel to this one. You are kind of literally a little witchy girl. And so you have a cauldron and you get to mix ingredients and make potions and spells. And it's cool.
That's cool. That part's cool. It looks pretty. It looks really, really gorgeous.
That's that super giant aesthetic. It's kind of nice. But so I dig it. So does everybody else except DJ in the world.
Wow.
Yep. Throwing that witchy shade.
My goodness.
But anyway, tell me about a game that is your number 2 that you still claim has nothing to do with the things in its title.
It has everything to do with half the things in the title. Demon.
Okay, sorry. What's your number 2?
What are you on about? No, it's Demon School. And if you have been, honestly, if anybody has been following along and listening this year, all 3 of our top 3 should have been pretty easy to guess.
Probably so. You know what? I had forgotten that when I looked back at kind of our beginning of the year, what games we were most excited about, because I had forgotten about Demon School, and you had put that on one you were excited about this year, and then it just kind of rolled back in at the very end of the year, and you finished it, and here it is at number 2.
I know. Yeah. I looked at the time I spent on the Switch, and I'm like you. Also, I will let a game idle and like go do dishes. So
yeah,
I know, right? Or something like that. So it clocked me in at like 55 hours, and I'm like, I did not play this game for 55 hours.
Hey,
but I could believe like 45, and I do believe I genuinely let it idle for 10 hours. I buy into that completely.
I did that once where I didn't realize it was still idling, and it was like overnight, and like I got back the next afternoon, and it was like, you've played 23 hours. I was like, that's not true.
That is inaccurate. So anyway, yes, if you didn't catch, it's Demon School, a tactics RPG with a little bit of school life and a lot of bit of horror themed demon fighting. You play as Buffy. Just kidding. You play as Faye, but she might as well be Buffy with a little bit more wit to her. This game launched on November 19th after so many delays, so thank goodness it was actually released this year. It is tactical strategic RPG on a grid board base. I think we call that isometric. I think, right?
Yeah, when it's a little bit off to the side, not straight up and down. I think, right?
Yes, I think so. No random battles. Every battle is planned, which I kind of like. I'm okay with random battles because I grew up gaming, but I'm also okay with 0 random battles as well.
Yeah, because it's that much more thought through. It's the complete experience is curated and thoughtful.
Every battle means something, even if it's just a side quest. It all means something. I think visually, it's beautiful. The enemies and demons are horror-inspired design, so they're gross and they're creepy and they're disturbing. The enemies like literally explode into a spray of blood once you kill them, or if one of your characters dies in battle, they explode into a spray of blood as well. So
Harsh.
it's harsh, and it leans into the fact that it's kind of a campy game in a lot of ways. I mean, it really is. Jokes aside, it really is kind of like Buffy meets Fire Emblem meets Jello. It's not. It's a callback. So Giallo, which is music, which is just Italian horror music. And again, if you listen to the last one, it's sexy and groovy music. Think like lounge music with like a little psychedelic rock, a little bit of jazz, and it's like glamorous and sinister. The music really, kind of like Lunar, kind of drives the story along in some ways. So yeah,
Bit of jiggle like Jello.
it jiggles like Jello. You know, there were a lot of ways that I could have made this my number one game of the year, but then I was like, that's absolutely ridiculous.
Doesn't
But
have to be.
It
It's
doesn't
your number
have
one
to
game.
be.
It can be whatever you want it to
would
be.
be mine. It fought back and forth, but it is not. It is a strong silver medal for me, and one that eventually you might play, but you know, no big deal if you don't.
Well, I think I would like it. I actually do. I think you've sold me because the school part is minimal. It's just finding time for it.
Oh, I know, and no guide needed. Hooray!
That is super good.
That's
Love
really
it.
nice.
Love it so much.
So before we get to our top ones, Samuel, what are some of your honorable mentions? Then I'll go after you.
Okay. I'm excited to talk about some of these, but the first one kind of hurts me a little bit. So, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition. Because this was my most anticipated game of the year. I really thought
yeah.
that this would be like top 1 or 2 games of the year.
No.
And I liked it. I enjoyed it, but there were some things that just didn't quite hit for me. I mean, it is just sci-fi. It's right up my alley, and you get to fly in mechs eventually, and you know, it's Xenoblade fighting style, which I really liked in the other Xenoblade games. So everything should fit there. I'd say exploration-wise is the top tier. You're exploring this amazing sci-fi distant planet with a bunch of and it's not barren. You know, you'll fly to the top of mountains and the bottom of caves, and there's always stuff to do. There's things to collect. There's enemies to fight. There's beautiful vistas to see and cool locations. While you're collecting stuff, there's always things to upgrade, and there's always stuff to do, and there's ways to tinker your fighting style. And so that was always very fun and rewarding, and I like most of those loops. I guess what didn't hit with me though, and why it's not a top game, is that I played for like 70 hours in this game, and I still didn't feel like I had a really good grasp on the battling and how to make it work like I wanted to. And there was kind of too many systems. I never thought I would say that, but like
Same. What?
I never thought I would say that. It would be like, oh, okay. So not only are there slots on this, but then you can upgrade the slots, and then you have to get these things to obtain more slots on the upgrade. And then it's like also a different weapon has a different slots. And like I was finding new systems, 30 hours in that I never even knew about. And then I would think I would work on it for a while, and I would think I knew how to like perfect it, and then I would go and battle, and it just wouldn't quite work like I wanted to. So I just felt like it didn't quite click on the battle system like I wanted it to, like the other Xenoblade games did. I really felt like I understood them more. But I still loved it. I just think it didn't quite fit the bill. And then SteamWorld Heist 2, did an episode on this one recently. Really loved this one. So a tactical RPG with a unique perspective because it is 2D like side on rather than more top down or isometric that most of our tactical RPGs are. This is a side on 2D tactical RPG. So I love the SteamWorld aesthetic and the world building. It's really quirky and fun. I like it's the second one of the SteamWorld Heist, so I think they've refined their tactical RPG combat. And then when you're in the overworld and you're exploring and you're navigating, you're doing so on a submarine across the water because it's kind of like pirate themed.
Yeah.
And that was fun too. You got to upgrade your submarine. You got to drive around and go to different areas and do little mini battles and stuff with the submarine. So there was a lot of fun aspects. Oh, and then the music was great. So the music was this kind of folksy music that was a whole album basically done by this band in the SteamWorld system, in the SteamWorld kind of style. So that was cool. And then a couple non-RPG shout outs: Donkey Kong Bonanza, super cool game, and Hollow Knight Silk Song. So both of those non-RPGs were awesome, top tier games. Definitely were also kind of up for different game awards too. How about you? What made the list below the list?
The list below the list. I think you and I could both agree. Suikoden. We both only played the first one of the duology that was remastered. Again, lots of remasters this year, but I liked the point of the first game. I thought it was unique that you could collect almost 100 usable. I think you could collect more than 100 characters, but not everyone was usable in battle.
Yeah.
Right. And I think there were a couple who were just stars to collect, and they weren't necessarily usable.
Yeah, but most of them you could battle with.
Most of them you could battle, and while that's fun, that means your party can be up to 6. And I thought the visuals looked nice. The things maybe why it didn't make my top 3. This one's petty, but I thought the character portraits looked like they were built by AI. they were just bad. They were that smoothed out thing where it was a trend like 10 years ago, especially if you took like a game like example Final Fantasy VI and then poured it to mobile. They smoothed everything out where nobody had any pixel or any detail. Because I'm sorry, and you know this too, on the right TV, so on a CRT TV, pixels look great because it's literally broadcasted in a different way than if it's on HD.
Yeah, it doesn't transfer the same way.
It doesn't transfer, and I thought parts of Suikoden did not transfer. Also, I don't love that in order to get all 107 characters, I think, you need a guide.
Yeah, I gave up on that. I didn't get that.
Yeah, you absolutely need a guide, and having to have a guide for everything. I'm cool using a guide, man, but I don't want to be glued to one. And I feel like you have to be glued to one to like get the best ending in Suikoden, and that just takes a little bit of the joy out for me.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. I love the idea of the indie game Quartet. It is a cute RPG indie game. It looks pretty. It leans into the fact that it's indie and pixel. There are 4 different stories that you play, 2 characters in each story with all paths coming together at the end for another chapter where you use all 8 of your characters. It's kind of like Octopath, but everyone comes together in ways that very obviously make sense, as opposed to the first Octopath game where they didn't really talk. They didn't seem like a party as much.
Yeah, there wasn't as much overlap. They fixed that in the second one.
They did. They fixed it in the second one for sure. Quartet, I want to finish it. I was kind of hyped for it, and it was very fine.
Okay.
It was very fine. I felt bottlenecked into battles sometimes. Like I literally couldn't cross a river unless I had to fight a trash mob. And I'm like, okay, well that's silly.
That work. These are our top 3 games to make the list. Not every game is gonna hit.
Not every game's gonna hit, man. I feel like had you and I played Octopath Zero, one of us would have had it in our top 3.
I kind of think so too. I hear more people are saying that that's their favorite Octopath when I listen to them about it.
So I'm excited to jump into it. I also would have said Kingdom of Night, which just came out this month just on PC, just on Steam. Yeah. It is an action RPG that is in the 80s. It's very Stranger Things. And
sounds like you.
And spoiler alert. So if you don't want to know, spoiler alert. 1 hour into it, one of the bad guys takes your dog, who's like not even really a character, but he takes your dog, turns him into a werewolf, and you have to kill your dog. And after that happened, I was like, well, I'm done with this game for a while.
If you want Taylor to never play games, convince her to play that one and then have that happen, and she will never again pick up a game.
That's so sad. No, I would never. So I definitely played non-RPGs this year, but none that really seemed worth highlighting. So there are some RPGs that I played this year that did not come out in 2025, but I got to experience for the first time in 2025. One was Get in the Car, Loser, which you played also.
Get in the Car, Loser.
I love that game. Loser. It was a cute game, a quartet of queer folks, which never happens. A very visual novel in some ways because it was super text heavy, but bright pixel colors. They were funny and charming characters that made it a really fun experience.
The writing was really great in that.
The writing was great. Not bad that it was text heavy, but it was very text heavy.
It was, and if it was bad writing, that would have been more of a downer. But it was good writing.
I know. And the last one, I would totally replay this because my file got corrupted, so I didn't get to finish
Oh
it.
no.
I had like an hour and a half left, and I was like,
No.
no.
Oh, I would
Yeah.
be so full of rage.
I was for a little bit. I don't know why it did that, but Long Gone Days. It's a turn-based in the real world, so you fight with guns and grenades.
Ooh.
It's yeah. And since you're traveling parts of the world to try and stop an evil organization, when you go to a new part of the world, like you're an English speaker. So when I was in Germany, the signs were all in German, and the NPCs spoke to you in German, in real translatable German. And until I recruited the party member who lives in Germany, I couldn't communicate with anybody.
Oh, that's interesting, but also maybe frustrating.
No, I mean you get them pretty quickly, I think. And I also do, marginally speak and write German, so that was not the hardest one. But like when I was in Russia, I was like, well, I don't know what the hell they're saying at all. So
Your Russian wasn't up to snuff.
yeah, sure wasn't. No, not at all. But yeah, it blew me away in a good way of how compelling the story was.
Cool.
And just how fun, like, it's cool being turn-based, but also, like, your weapon is a machine gun, or a handgun, or a pistol, or throwing grenades. Or there was one guy who was a pacifist in your party, so he did not do damage at all.
He had to be the healer.
He healed and he buffed, and he would debuff, and I think he would also debuff enemies. But it was, in this modern day of gaming, like to make a party member do 0 damage and to say nope, they're a pacifist, that's part of who they are as a human.
That's cool.
It was a bold move, and it really works.
I like that. I like that little twist.
Yeah, so those are both of our honorable mentions and whatnot. And I think we're going to go to, if you've been listening to this podcast for the past year, you know what Sam's number one is going to be, and you probably know what my number one is going to be too. But Sam, go ahead and shock us here.
No surprise. Sam's number one game of 2025 is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. All right, drop the banners, pull out the pull out the trophies, turn the Wicked Witch W's to the side to make some 33s.
That's so funny.
It is Clair Obscur Expedition 33. So yeah, come on, this is Game of the Year, the most decorated game at the Game Awards ever. It won 9 Game of the Year awards. It's amazing. Just came out in April of this year, April 24th. It's a 3D turn-based RPG. Some say JRPG, but technically it was made by a French company, so
JRPG is such a vibe. It's a vibe.
It's a vibe.
It's a
I
JRPG
agree. I think it's a vibe. And so you're set in Lumiere, a dark dystopian, almost alternative history form of Paris, and you're fighting against the Paintress, who kills everyone of a certain age each year, so the population is gradually dying out. I thought that was a cool sci-fi baseline story in so many ways. I never care too much about the storyline, but just walking around talking to people about how it affected their lives and how it affected if they had children, if they didn't have children, what life was like when nobody was over the age of 34, and all these things, and it was so cool. What else did I love about it? I mean, visuals, drop dead gorgeous. They implement that light, dark contrast, which is in that theme is literally what the title suggests, right? Like
Clair Obscur, yeah,
means you kind of like in artwork, I guess, that contrast of light and dark in a picture, in a painting.
Yeah.
There were really cool areas, cool visuals and locales, not just kind of like the woods or a park or a city. It was really interesting places that you were exploring. The audio score is divine. Won a Game Award for best score, I believe. The haunting main theme, fun upbeat battle tunes, quirky tracks for some of the characters. There's so much music, really. When you try to listen to the entire OST, it is very extensive. Let's see. Gameplay-wise, this for me has to be top tier for it to be my favorite game, and
Sure.
It really hit for me. So it is turn-based, and then has a very extensive real-time button press mechanic with blocks and parries, which takes some getting used to, but is fun and did not ruin it at all for me. It added to it because you were very engaged. It wasn't a passive turn-based at all. You really had to be locked in, or you would be donezo and you'd have to start over. Each character plays totally differently. So it's not just based on what gear you have and what weapons they're equipped. I mean, it's totally different mechanics for each character. Entirely different skill trees that you're working with for each character to get new skills and to advance different mechanics, which I thought was awesome. Because then how do they interplay together when they have totally different mechanics? How do they play off of each other? How do they buff each other or not? And that was so much fun. And then you can customize it even more with not only the weapons, which don't just do more damage, they have different effects in different ways you can upgrade the weapons that cause even more effects, but primarily you customize your build by these things called pictos and luminos that you get a certain number of points and you kind of allocate it out, and you just adds different effects. And it can be very intense, but is so much fun to tinker with. I had so much fun tinkering. And then story-wise, I would say, again, I don't care that much about story, but it was so memorable from that baseline that you talk about to kind of some of the twists and turns that happened to even the ending was really heartfelt, and I think I will remember the story forever, quite honestly. And then lastly, just the personality, kind of oozing, dripping with personality, a la a Persona game, even in the menus and with the way that they present the information and the way the characters are written. It's just personality, personality, personality. You can really tell these people put their heart into this game, and that is why it is my favorite game of the year.
Woo-woo! And a worthy top game.
That's right. You say it again, DJ.
We're gonna time out right here before I go to my top one.
I don't know. I didn't even see it in your honorable mentions.
I do not hate Claire Obscur. I do not hate it. Stop with that slander.
Everybody, stop right now. Go back to the beginning of the episode. Tell me which on the list or the honorable mentions Claire Obscur fell for DJ. Just go ahead and tell me.
I played so many games this year.
Okay, and what was the best one?
The best one was not Claire Obscur for me, and
that's
I
what I'm saying. I was leading you into your best one, your top number one. It was a segue, DJ.
Max is gonna reach through this audio and choke you if you say segue one more time. So my top game of the year, Trails in the Sky First Chapter. It is my first and only Trails game I've played. I tried playing the original Trails in the Sky like a year and a half ago and got pretty far into it, and then I think you and I had games that we had to cover on the pod, so I dropped it in favor of those. That's what you do. Mm-hmm. But this is the full ass remake of Trails in the Sky from I think 2004. So originally released in Japan on PC, then in 2011 on PSP, and then this year September 19, 2025 for its full remake for all the major systems. The story here, for those of y'all who are new to the series like me, begins with Estelle and Joshua Bright, daughter and adopted son of legendary hero and war general Cassius Bright, embarking on their personal journey to become bracers. So think of bracers as like community problem solvers for hire, or even junior police officers in a way. The visuals are gorgeous. It's that Falcom visual that they've had going on, I think, since the Trail games have been turned 3D. But it's more polished. The characters didn't look like, no offense to their older games, but some of the old Falcom characters, Trails and not Trails games, all look like they have the exact same height, the exact same body type, and when they're standing, they're really stiff. And the visuals in here, everyone looks like they own their own body size and height and type. And I mean, the only complaint I have about like the character visuals is when they turn around. It's like they stay in place and step to turn around. This is only happens in visual scenes too, not like actual gameplay. And again, that's my like little, I guess, tiff I have with the visuals. Other than that,
can I say one thing about the visuals?
Yes,
I'm not trying to derail you. But so I've only played a little bit of the demo, but it's funny to me that I think they look really good. For whatever reason, they made the aesthetic decision to include their collarbones as like one of the defining parts that everybody has that shows. And it's like there's not, they don't have a whole lot of detail on their character models, and then they all have collarbones. And it's like
those sexy collarbones.
Just an interesting choice.
It was an interesting choice. But the visuals, the humans that you play, and the environment just boast colorful, welcoming environment, expressive character portraits, way better than Suikoden, smoothly animated 3D character models that capture their personalities really well. With the music, I think the soundtrack relies heavily on vibrant instrumentation, jaunty brass, spirited jazz elements, pleasant and easygoing, and I think really fun. I think a theme for you and I, that I'm just realizing this in real time, good video game music, I think some of it has to have jazz elements to it because you and I like get down when there's jazz music or like quasi jazz.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna say we like it to be jaunty.
We also like it to be a wee jaunty lad, if you will. The battles in this game are both action-based and turn-based. I love that if it's a trash mob and if you're really leveled up, you don't need to go into turn-based for it unless you choose. You can just take them out with being an action RPG.
That is such a nice mechanic to save time.
It really, and they're not the first game to ever do it, but it's nice to save time that way.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and then it makes every time you go into turn-based feel like you've earned it. Like, or like, okay, I've got to go into turn-based because there's no way I'm going to hack and slash this guy down. And then all boss battles are always turn-based, I think. I don't think you ever had the option to start out action with any of them. No random battles. All enemies are always on the screen. Great quality of life updates, or not really updates because I guess it's a full-on remake, but I love that you can save wherever you want. It has a great mini-map. There's quick travel. So many other like quality of life updates. I know I mentioned in the Trails episode when I did convince you to play kind of a thing. It's a really excellent game, fun combat, great story, really good voice acting, and it's the start of a series that's been going on for 20 years. So I think that's cool.
I think so too. I'm actually excited to get back into it, and I agree with all the quality of life stuff. I was impressed by that. I thought it was really well done, and from a potential for a game that I might try to do some Japanese learning with, it's like almost top tier with that because it has entire game logs and that you can replay the audio for, and has it written out too. So like you can go back and just study what was said, which is nice.
That's really cool. You should totally do that.
I know. I think I will.
So, you'll play Trails in the Sky remake, but in addition to maybe starting Trails, what else do you think you're going to play as we leave 2025 and go headfirst into 2026?
Well, okay, I guess we'll spoil it. One of the games we're playing together that we were giving some shade to for being overly simplistic, but I am playing Thousand Doors, or Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door, as normal people call it. And it's cute. It's got some charm. I'm just waiting for the mechanics to be a little bit more in depth. But that's okay. And then for my palate cleanser, non-turn-based RPG game, since I've been doing a lot of those recently, I'm doing Metroid Prime Beyond as well, which is really fun. And then, like I said, I'll probably be diving into either Trails or Octopath Zero next. How about you?
Well, like you said, we are playing through 1000 Doors a little bit. I think I wanted, because I liked Demon School so much, I kind of want to play another game that they created like 5 or 6 years ago, and then just December of 2024, they had an update to the game like that completely redid the battle system and everything and added like 15 more hours of gameplay to it. Cool. So it was called Y2K, but now it's called Y2K 1.5, I guess. And whoever these creators are obsessed with the year 2000 because Demon School takes place in 1999, and this game takes place as you approach the year 2000 with someone who like just graduated college and is apparently like kind of a miserable character in some ways.
And they're totally different. It's not like they did Demon School as like a second attempt at the same game and made it better. You know what I mean? Like,
they look totally different.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, no, they're like totally different. So it's been something in like the backlog of my mind for years to try out, but I had heard that the battle system was it was a little rough around the edges, and then after the kind of almost remake that happened last year this time, I thought, oh, do I need to play it? I don't know, maybe. So I might do it, but I'm also excited to start Octopath Zero at some point in the new year.
Do it.
Maybe one of those for sure.
Well, good. Yeah.
There you go.
All right, well, whichever we decide, and then next time we post things and post our next episode, where can they find all that stuff, DJ?
Y'all can find us at any kind of social media that has the handle Turn-Based Besties. Yes, that is just Instagram right now, but who knows? We might do other things. Actually, it's YouTube also. Actually, it's Reddit as well.
Yeah, don't sell us short.
I won't sell us short at all. There's so many things that we're on. You can listen to us literally wherever you get your podcasts. So Go to our socials. Let us know which games you were most excited for in 2025. Or let us know which games you're most excited for to happen in 2026.
Yep.
You can email us or comment at turnbasedbesties@gmail.com. I check that email every day, darn it. So you send it, I will answer your email, I promise. A big thanks to everyone who has followed us on social media. Let us see if we can get to a new number. I'm not even going to say which number. Let's just get to a new
better,
number.
bigger number.
A better, bigger number. Bigger is not always better, but in this case it is. So we want more numbers. And I just love going on big, better adventures each new episode with you at Turn-Based Besties.
Oh, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
That means a lot.
Yeah.
And as we always say here on Turn-Based Besties, when everything in the world points right, maybe go left and see what you find. I'm Sam.
And I'm DJ, and happy frickin' holidays, everybody.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, we'll see you in
didn't even say
2026. I know, well, and we just did. Happy stuff.
Happy stuff to all that celebrate anything and everything.
Yeah, if you're celebrating something, have a good ass time. And we will see you in 2026. Bye!
Bye, y'all.